at this. Well, look what we have here.
Yeah, cute, right?
Very nice. I'm going to get to all of this in just a second, but I have to ask you a question that I think you get a lot.
Okay.
And at this point, maybe it's cliche, but who would have thought?
Right. Not my parents.
Who would have thought?
Yeah, they were like, be a podiatrist. And I was like, I'm going to become a giant adult baby with a vertical ponytail.
The whole thing.
Yeah, just the whole thing. Yeah, man, 27, the future's fucking weird, man. You know, 2017 is weird.
I feel like you're living in the future, and a lot of us are still kind of like, what? That's the future? I don't know.
A lot of people now have like crazy, everyone has like a made up job now. So like this is becoming less and less ridiculous.
That's true. I mean, hi.
That's what I'm saying. You can be like I met a guy who was like a.
What the fuck is this? I don't know.
Yeah, you can be like a social cloud disruption Twitter engagement specialist. Like that's a job. Like people start
verbal fart you just did.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah. There's like a store in Brooklyn that sells monocles for dogs. Like it's all everything is. I think the world is ending. So.
Do you feel? Do you feel like you saw that? Not the world ending coming. We're all kind of getting a glimpse of that right now.
Right.
But do you feel like you saw something like this coming when you started doing this, or was it just sort of all organic and took on a life of its own, and you had to kind of ride that wave?
I mean, I think that I think stupidity is forever. So people like love stuff that's like outlandish and stupid. But I think I saw the general brow of things kind of lowering. I think I might be partially responsible for the world ending, like in a very small way. So yeah, I think I knew that there was kind of a need for like whatever this is. You know?
Do you feel like you're really lowering the brow that much? I mean, it's jokes. You're putting jokes up there, and you're putting funny stuff up there. You're not necessarily like lowering the brow of things that are important.
Right, that's true. I mean, except for maybe wine. Yeah, we've definitely lowered the brow of wine. That is for sure.
I don't know. I mean, Yellowtail has never been good.
Right, you're not a Yellowtail guy.
No.
But are you like a person who like swirls wine around and like smells it for its like apricot-y, leathery notes?
I wanna say no to be like cool, but yeah.
But yeah, you are. Yeah. By the way, I already knew that. Yeah. You have like salt and pepper sides and
I go to tastings and I ask the waiter and like all that shit.
Right. Oh, you like pretend like you know what you're doing.
Like I'm planning a trip to the Loire Valley at some
I don't know
point.
what that is, but like
It's a place in France where they make wine.
Oh, that's in France. Okay. Right. Well, this is made like just outside of like Bakersfield, which is like meth country, but they also have good wine. I don't know.
You get the meth heads making the wine; they're fast.
That's what I'm saying. They work fast. They work fast.
You should see them stomp those grapes.
They can get anything done. A bunch of meth heads they'll build you a house in a day. Yeah, right. They'll kill you, but they'll also build you a house in a day. No, I don't think I'm like lowering the brow supremely, but I'm not helping.
So when did the idea for the wine? Where did it come from?
It was kind of twofold. Actually, maybe it was kind of threefold. I mean, I really like to be sort of off the nose in terms of like what I'm doing, because I'm not really. I like to be where nobody really expects me, because I'm not really like I'm not a comedian. I've never been in a I've never been in a comedy club before, and I like to the thing I like people most saying about me is like, what is happening? So like I signed a plus size modeling deal. I was like the first male plus size model. Like anything I do, I want you to be like, why is this happening? You know, like
if there was like a Fat Jewish video game or something, we would kind of get.
That's what I'm saying, right? I want you to be confused basically at all times. So one is that I wanted to like people to be like, why? Two was because. Everybody loves rosé, and it's like delicious, and it's kind of like the slutty cousin of wine,
I actually do love rosé.
Right, you do.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, it's like much more acceptable. Like no one wants to like party with Merlot and like pour it in their eyeballs. Like nobody's doing that. That's much more of a rosé vibe. And three is also that I don't know if you had read about this, but like a few years ago there was a rosé shortage in the Hamptons, and it was really scary. Yeah. It was just like
I'm gonna bring all the rosé.
Yeah, it was like there were like middle-aged white women like running through the streets like hoarding bottles of rosé in underground silos. Yeah, and I was like, I don't want my children to live in that kind of world. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Not on my watch.
So you come up with the idea of doing a wine, right. And you go with rosé because rosé is also like it was. And I think still is. It was like sort of a big thing. Like it had really struck a couple years ago.
Yeah, totally. Like the wave was really building, and like people wearing rosé shirts.
You drink rosé? Were you drinking a lot of rosé?
Yeah, no doubt. Because again, like I'm not really that into wine. Like I'm not gonna like drink like a really nice like cab, because I don't care. I want something that like kind of tastes good, and like rosé is like as long as it's ice cold and tastes okay. You know, as long as it doesn't taste like a diaper, then like it's pretty much acceptable. It doesn't need to be like incredible and like be like, you know, like blow your mind. And also it's like, it's just more acceptable with rosé to like kind of not really care. You could put like, we make a giant 13-inch straw that you put right in the bottle. You can drink it right out of the bottle. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not, our parties, we have like jacuzzis filled with rosé and like tattoo artists that'll like tattoo the inside of like your lips with our logo. And it's just like, I don't even know what wine parties were before that. I guess like turtlenecks and cheese and like French.
Yes, that's what
right, like Europeans with like tiny glasses. You know what I mean?
The Europeans actually wear the monocles for the dogs.
That's right.
Actually.
They wear dog monocles. That's right. So like we like basically it just felt, and also like, you know, we put it in cans now. It's all just like, it's not, it's like you can have a good, like wine can be fun and slutty and like not, it doesn't need to be like super serious.
What did you think when you first put it in the can?
I wanted it in a can because now you can shotgun rosé. So that's like been one of my main contributions now to society at this point, is that you can shotgun rosé directly in your mouth, which you were not able to do before. So I
like, just noticed your Crocs.
Yeah.
They're camouflage. They're like Duck Dynasty Crocs.
That's right. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. That's kind of, I mean.
part of your sort of like, I want to keep people guessing.
I'm built for comfort, not for speed, you know? So, yeah, you should be wearing Crocs at all times.
Why camo?
That's just kind of like Jewish Duck Dynasty. Like, what am I hunting? You know what I mean? Like in Manhattan as a Jewish guy, like what would I actually be hunting? Exactly. So this was all kind of like caught people by surprise. We make Pinot, we make all kinds of stuff now.
Now, I have to ask, when you have as many Twitter and Instagram social media followers as you do, and you are a sort of personal brand, I imagine people pitch products, pitch ideas to you all the time to sort of get you to promote or get behind. What are some of the weirdest things you've had pitched to you?
Like some of the worst ideas you could possibly imagine.
Love it.
And it's like, it's either it's half like Israeli people on the internet being like, baby, I have #1 idea for like social media platform, or like a guy on coke. Like screaming at me at a party in like a dark corner, like, I need to pitch you this idea.
And like
it's
both of those
incredible.
things kind of align.
Yeah, they're kind of almost, that's right. And then they either pitch me something that nobody in the world ever needed, or they pitch me something that like already exists. You know what I mean? They're like, why don't we do a social media platform where you have a profile photo and you can like write updates about what you're doing and connect with, and I'm like, that's literally Facebook, Doug. You're on so much coke. Like you can't do that. That's actually Facebook. Or like an Israeli guy being like, baby, what does everyone need? Like a basketball that's a cantaloupe. And I'm like, no one needs that. No one needs a basketball like no one needs a cantaloupe you can play basketball with.
But your impression of like tech ideas is like really, really spot on to most ideas in tech, which is essentially like, let's do this thing that's already being done, but put as much enthusiasm into it as if it's something new and original.
Totally. And so many apps that I don't know what they do.
Yeah.
Called like Vigly or like Migly, you know what I mean? And they're like, it's an app that tells you how many apps you have. And I'm like, what? I'm like, nobody wants that.
It's a video app that lets you watch videos on lots of different platforms, and then you can show it to your friends.
I'm like, I have no clue what you're saying.
That's the internet and Twitter, and I'm fine, thank you.
And I'm like, you're on cocaine and you have terrible like cranberry vodka breath and you're screaming in my face.
Have you had any ideas that you've gotten super excited about and jazzed about, and then afterwards been like, maybe we won't go in that direction?
Oh my God, truly, truly horrendous ideas. I'm trying to think like what my most legendarily bad idea that nobody needed was. Let's see, I would say probably, that's a good question. I'll have to get back to that. Because there have been so many of them. I think, I wanted to do a thing, right? You know like when you go through a car wash, right? And like the high-powered blowers like split all the like water off the windshield. You know what I mean? I was like, why can't we have that in cars? Then we don't need windshield wipers anymore. You feel me? But it's a terrible idea. You know what I'm saying? And they would install it into all the cars, and then like when the rain would come, it would just split it. And then I brought it to an engineer, and he was like, you're the dumbest person who's ever lived.
I also love the idea of imagining a future where like the fat Jewish is labeled on like car wipers that are kind of
I'm totally down. Also, people pitch me terrible movie and TV ideas. That's another.
Really?
Oh my God.
Be the star, like your own kind of like chairman of the board.
Sometimes, like movies that don't even make sense. They're like, it's about a dog who goes back in time to stop the Civil War.
And it stars you.
Actually, I kind of like that idea. Like I actually just made that up, and that's.
You don't want to stop the Civil War.
No,
that's a war you don't want to. That and like World War II, you want them to go to their logical end.
People have pitched
there's
me.
Good conclusions.
I should run like shitty Shark Tank, honestly, because people are pitching me the worst ideas. Honestly, ever.
Have people pitched you to sort of star in your own movie?
Yeah, totally. Like weird like direct to DVD movies. Yeah. Although actually I got a couple offers recently to do stuff internationally, which is really exciting because I'd love to be a huge star in like Moldova. You know what I mean? Or like the Ukraine.
Because you can get away with whatever you want there.
Totally. There's no laws. You can like have a grenade launcher and like you can have like a falcon and like
Go full oligarch there.
yeah, no, totally. You can like ride a horse. You know that there's a nightclub in Russia, seriously, where they have a menu, right, with like food and drink on it, but then they have a separate menu that you can ask for, and I guess it's for like sheikhs and like oligarchs and stuff like that. And it's stuff on the menu, you can burn the club down for $1.2 million. It's on the menu. They will evacuate the club and you can burn it to the ground. How hot is that? That's killer, right?
That is the end of the world.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And like they're just operating on a whole other thing over there. They literally do. There are no laws. You can actually burn a nightclub to the ground, which like sounds incredible. I would love to do that. They have that option at no places here. So
I want to ask you about that period of time a couple years ago where you have this massive social media following. You've developed a brand, and suddenly it becomes for lack of a better word, a controversy in terms of how you've made up your brand, how you tell the jokes. And I think it's really interesting because it was this moment of time where the controversy ended because we were kind of just talking about new platforms and the sort of boundary changing a little bit, or that line that we all sort of stood behind got pushed over just a little bit more. And you were kind of at the forefront of that. And then it sort of went away and you got to continue your brand and live your life and people stopped harassing you.
Yeah, I mean, that period of time was crazy. Like, well, two things. One, it was kind of crazy. It was kind of hot because I got like
a lot more followers.
I got like chased in an Uber. Like my Uber got chased by another Uber. Oh, wow. Yeah, where like a reporter was in. So and like I got like followed around like a CVS. Like I felt like Matt Damon, which was sick because I was like, is this what it's like? You know what I mean? To like have this level of like Ben Affleck, and you're like, is this what it feels like?
What does that feel like?
It was terrifying, literally terrifying, but also like. Kind of like in a good way, Like I got like a fear boner. You know what I mean? Like it was exciting, but scary. I mean, and look, the thing about that was that I love the internet, like genuinely. Like I'm a child of the internet. And like it basically was like a giant conversation between like two kind of schools of thought, There were like 16-year-old like Koreans being like, do you really need to like find everything that you use? And like we're in an economy of like sharing on the internet and like everything is kind of shared. And then there are like 38-year-old writers being like, you need to find out where everything came from and attribute it. And there was just like this giant screaming match on the internet with me sort of in the middle of it. And like, I love the internet, so I was down for like, the internet kind of governs itself, right? Like people scream at each other and say horrible shit, but like it makes up its own rules. And it felt like that social media in that way needed to be governed. Because we weren't sure like where we stood on it, and everyone yelled about it and screamed and said horrible stuff to me, and then they kind of like figured it out and we sort of moved on. We sort of landed on the side of the fact that we were gonna like dig and attribute absolutely everything that we do, and we were gonna find sources and all this stuff, and so that's what I did. I let the internet, I let the barbaric sort of like decision-making entity that is the internet kind of like fight over it. Definitely like at my expense, but also like, I wanted people to like be happy and I wanted us to like figure it out. And we did.
Did it feel like to you in that moment, like, oh my God, this whole thing that I have kind of built could be taken apart or taken down at this moment? Like this could be something where I'm really raked over the coals? Or did it not feel that serious?
It was sort of hard to tell. I got stoned once during it, and like that didn't go that well because I just felt like super weird, and I got kind of paranoid. But
that's me anytime I get stoned. Like even if things are normal in my life, I get stoned. I'm like everything's gonna fall apart.
Right, you like freak out immediately.
This is such a thin thing that I'm holding on to.
You're like, what is friendship? Like, what is the Then you have a cough. You go on WebMD. And you
just rip the tablecloth out, guys.
Right.
Come on.
You go on WebMD. You automatically think you have AIDS. Like everything is just like a disaster. Yeah. Don't go on WebMD stoned. So I think that there's a lot of things that I do. Like Instagram is really a component of it for me. So I don't think I felt like, before Instagram, like I did a lot of TV and a lot of writing and a lot of just stuff. So I don't think it would have been like the collapse of absolutely everything, but it was just like so stressful. And people are saying horrible stuff on the internet all the time, to each other and to me. But it really got crazy. Again, it was like kind of exciting in a weird way, but also definitely like super terrifying. Yeah, the internet is a scary place.
Yeah, it's horrifying.
Oh, for sure. So, You know, I don't think that I was like worried it would all kind of go away. I really genuinely wanted it to get figured out. I wanted people to be happy. I didn't like that like there were people who felt like, you know, this was something that, you know, was hurting them in any way. I'm not trying to be part of that. I'm like a big fat giant baby idiot. I'm trying to like show you a good time. I'm not trying to like make you feel bad in any way. So, you know, whatever. It happened. That shit was crazy.
You're the guy behind White Girl Rosé.
That exactly. So right. I'm a vintner now, dude. I learned that word today. This stuff will get you drunk. I'm serious. 3 of these cans is a bottle of wine.
So this is all through on-demand e-commerce, right?
No.
Or do you distribute into stores as well?
No, it's like in stores. You get this in like a Target.
Oh.
Yeah.
How did you get into Target?
I don't know. It's really unclear. The only place you can't get it is like, you know, like a wine shop where like the dude has like a curly mustache. You know what I mean? And they're like, yeah, we don't really do that kind of thing here.
That's Friends. He's a buddy of mine.
Right, totally. That's your boy. Yeah. Like, you know, in a place where they like care about wine stuff, they're like, yeah, you know, totally no.
Can I give it a go?
Yeah, it's nice when it's room temperature. It's best.
I know.
Like,
I was just thinking that, like,
you want to
this
heat it
isn't
up?
the
Yeah, we
best-
can put it in the microwave. Why don't you heat it up?
Let's wave it, bro.
Some hot rosé. I want your real reaction here.
Well, because it's warm, right? I bet it's good.
Yeah.
No, it's good. I like it.
It's not bad, right?
No, it's not bad at all. It's great.
Here's the thing: is the reaction that we want when people drink it is like, this is okay. Yeah. This is not terrible.
You also don't swish around rosé or anything, but yeah, it's great.
No, it's what I'm saying. And we make it inexpensive enough that you can pour one out into like some shrubs or into your face, like, and then like drink the other one. You don't
For your homies, for your
Yeah, so I'm saying you can pour one out. Right. Pour one out for like, you know, for those we've lost. And then
like Grammy and Aunt Carol. Or
totally.
Yeah.
You're like Aunt Arlene, I miss you. You know, like so sad.
Pouring out for my book club.
Right, exactly. This one's from my Nona, like she hated humidity. You know, like right. You pour one out and then you pour one into your mouth. So it's inexpensive enough for that. Yeah, I mean I'm doing a lot of different stuff sort of besides this. I mean Instagram at this point is like it kind of is what it is. It's sort of like a little bit on the boring side. I throw a lot of live events now to try to get people off the internet because I feel like generally like kids kind of aren't doing cool shit and like are basically like why go to the party when you can just look at what happened at the party later? Like why actually leave your house? So I like throw events and try to facilitate like poor decision making because like I don't want these kids to feel you got to get like a UTI. You got to get out there. You know what I'm saying? You gotta really be out there doing stuff you're gonna really regret. And need antibiotics for. So I throw like a music.
You need those good like 5 years.
That's what I'm saying.
College and like a couple years after college.
No,
yeah.
but now like
and I still kind of go after them, but now I've got like a fiance and stuff that I go after them with. But we still enjoy a lot of the mistakes.
Right, you guys are What kind of stuff are you guys into?
Actually, now that I think about it, it's fairly basic.
What do you mean?
I mean, it's like going to shows and, that's about it. We don't do anything that crazy.
Wait.
We don't do anything crazy at all.
How long have you been together? I flipped this whole thing right now. Now we're just talking about him and his fiance. Yeah.
We've been together 3 years.
You guys watch porno?
Oh, yeah, actually once.
Yeah?
Once, this is a true story. I put it on as a joke. I was like, hey, check this out.
No, that's how you always do it.
Like, it was like, he.
As a joke, right.
And she went, yeah. We don't have time for this.
Really?
And I was like, whoa, that worked.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Sick.
Yeah. It was a startling moment. All right.
Right. That's so 3 years, right. I mean, I have ideas for you of how to like keep things hot. If you need,
They're good.
Things are good. No, I'm
Things
not
are
saying
good.
right now. I'm not saying right now.
What the fuck, man?
I'm
No.
saying like if they ever like you're like, oh, it feels like the spark is there. It's like it needs like a little bit of a jump start. I've got a lot of ideas.
Like what?
Mission.
These ideas specific from
Well,
looking
actually,
at me, or just like general ideas
I'll
you
tell
give
you,
lots of
me
people?
and my girlfriend do a lot of ghost hunting.
Is that code for?
No,
Oh,
like actual ghost hunting. So like I met this guy who like worked for the Long Island Medium.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's like, I'm a medium. Like I'm talking to Paul Walker. She introduced me. She's like, Paul. Like he's Tokyo drifting across heaven. Like she knows.
I almost got him. He drove by too fast.
He's Tokyo drifting on a cloud. She introduced me. I got introduced to a dude who was like she had mentored him, and he sold me like a bunch of ghost hunting equipment, which I'm assuming is just literal trash. But we now go. We did a tour of abandoned lighthouses up and down the East Coast that were all haunted, and we have gone to like abandoned mental hospitals and like orphanages, and then we, do anal and stuff in them. Yeah, and let me tell you, it's really spooky, but it's really kept things kind of spicy.
Nothing gets you hot like the smell of formaldehyde jars from 1930 in an old mental asylum.
Boner alert. Yeah, or like knowing your grandma might be watching. Like, who knows who's in the room? It's impossible.
Hey, this smells like systemic abuse of the mentally ill in 1945. I'm kind of turned on.
Heath Ledger? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You never know who's in there, right? Like a child who was being tested on, like with some kind of medical procedure that was banned 80 years ago that didn't work, where they like shot like lasers, you know what I mean? Where they like shocked your brain. That stuff gets us really turned on. So I don't know if you want to like go together or if you want.
Absolutely.
Here's what I'm asking.
When we get there,
do you want
keys in the jar and then we figure it out?
Oh, it's a key party?
Well, I mean, if we're going to be in the mental asylum, I feel like we should, swing.
I like your style. I like your style. You're going to have no problems down the road. Because at 3 years, it's like things seem like they're really good. What do you got? Yeah, like you're going to farmers markets and yeah.
She works at one.
No.
Yeah, it's the best.
What? So you got a plug.
Yeah.
You get like cheap squash.
I get all the stuff at the end of the day.
Right.
Saturday, she brought home grapes from like a winery that was at the farmer's market. It was the best thing
You live
ever.
in Brooklyn.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
Oh, yeah. And you know what? Not ashamed of it. Love the entire culture that is mocked all the time. It's very comfortable and it's very tasty.
Listen, you celebrate it. Oh my God, You're eating like so much bespoke burrata. Yeah, right. That's been like.
Fucking burrata rules, man.
You love burrata.
Love burrata.
By the way, so do I.
Do you not like burrata?
No, I don't. I love burrata. I have a full-blown burrata addiction. I'll get burrata with a side of burrata. I'll get double
Have you
burrata.
ever had bad burrata?
No.
I did.
No.
Do you want to know where I had bad
You had
burrata?
a bad burrata?
In Italy. I'm dead serious. In Rome, I had a bad burrata.
What?
Yeah.
This is a nightmare. This is a hellscape. No. What? So you go there and
Did
you're
not
like,
turn us on. No.
what do you mean? What was wrong with it?
It was hard. It was like bad mozzarella. Like it wasn't actually burrata. It was just bad mozzarella.
It's nice that you can talk about it now, because
It took a while to come to terms with it.
right? Because it must have scarred you at least a little bit.
Ruined the whole trip.
I didn't even know there was bad burrata.
I turned the table over.
You were like, no tutto bene. Yeah, because it was no bene, that burrata.
No bene.
No bene, that burrata. That's for sure. Yeah.
Wait, so you kind of joke around and mock the Brooklyn culture, but I feel like you probably take good part in it as well. You don't drink fancy wines and eat fancy foods or anything?
I mean, I love like a prosciutto, like a prosciutto Malone. Yeah, like I'll go to Brooklyn. But I'm not like going to any like emerging neighborhoods. Like I wouldn't sleep with like
I wouldn't consider my Greenpoint an emerging neighborhood at this point.
Who said Greenpoint? Yeah. It's like a $32 latte where like a Nicaraguan falcon ate the beans and then like collected the acidity in its stomach and then pooped it out. Like, no, I didn't say emerging.
For $1 a day and then went back to his hovel and just...
Right. But then outside at the bus stop is like a Polish woman drinking sauerkraut out of a jar.
Yeah.
So it's kind of
That's true.
It's all very confusing. I mean, I wouldn't like sleep with a girl who lived in like Gowanus or anything. Yeah. No, I woke up in Crown Heights and was furious. I was like, where am I? And then I got an Uber and it was $61.
Because Crown Heights is a massive fucking neighborhood. You think it's just like this one spot in between here and here, but it's actually humongous. You can be so far out in Brooklyn and be in Crown Heights.
Yeah, I want no part of that. Yeah. No part of that. But yeah, of course I'm down. Yeah, the food in Brooklyn is incredible. Yeah. Yeah.
Mock my shit.
Wait, because you live in Greenpoint?
Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah, it's a good spot.
Where exactly?
In the back of Greenpoint.
I see what you did. Yeah,
Where do you live?
You knew what I was getting at.
Exactly.
Like I wanted your address. Yeah.
Where do you live?
Upstairs.
In Blink?
No, I'm dead ass. I live in this building. That's not a joke. I live in the building that this space is connected to.
That is not true.
I swear on my life. I'm not joking. I live in apartment 8 something. I live literally on the 8th floor of this building. I am totally. You can all come up to my house right now. I'll bring everyone in the studio up to my apartment.
Wait, Brad?
I'm telling you, I really do. I live
Really?
upstairs. I was so excited for this. I've been waiting for a build invite like for my whole life. Or since it opened in like January.
Why didn't you just come down and knock on the door,
Every day
man?
I walk by and I look at the digital board scrolling like some people I know and I'm like, none of those people are me. And I live in this building.
Knock on the door, say hi.
No, I was going, yeah. I was going to come with when Robert Pattinson was here because he's a friend of mine. Yeah, and there were like 100 like British women screaming and puking outside, and I was gonna come.
They were very excited.
But I didn't want to come in the building.
What did you think?
Until it was my time.
Did you see the movie that he was here to promote? And do you think all of those like young girl British fans also saw the movie?
Those guys who directed the movie are like 2 of my close friends.
Oh, they're great guys.
They are great guys. They're like nice Jews. Yeah, they're nice Upper West Side Jews. Yeah.
Never get that impression based off the content of their movies, though, which
Based
I
on
love.
the fact that they're like hellacious, like heroin, right? Like terrifying movies that make you feel like nauseous and scared. Yeah, right. They're not as nice Upper West Side Jew. Yeah, that movie is awesome. Good Time is like a seriously great movie. But I didn't want to come in here until it was my time. I should have brought food down from upstairs, like weird stuff from my apartment.
Yeah, like,
totally.
Like dirty socks and stuff,
Yeah,
and just
like
throwing them out to people.
Yeah, like a framed picture of my family. I would have given it to you. I don't know.
Love that.
Anyone who's at Build from now on can come upstairs. Just ask the doorman. They let anyone up. I have all types of weird people here. I have hookers coming up to reenact movie scenes with me.
What movie? What's
I don't
your
sleep
go-to,
with them. No.
What's your go-to hooker reenactment movie scene? And do you ever have hookers reenacting scenes with hookers in them, like?
Oh, no, like hookerception, like hooker inception?
Yeah.
No, like having a hooker do like Pretty Woman?
Yeah.
Whoa, dude. You're like the third Safdie brother. That's some fucking vision.
That would make them so. I imagine that would make a hooker so sad because that movie goes in a direction that.
I don't do it like that. No, but the number one scene, if you're gonna get a prostitute to reenact a movie scene, is Braveheart. Yeah, never take our freedom. Yeah, you get them to paint their face. A lot of them wanted to be actresses at one time.
I'm laughing because I'm imagining the scene where they come in and they're like, "Hi, how?" And you're like, "Money's right there. Makeup's in the bathroom. It's gonna be like a blue and green kind of thing. Your lines are on the table. I'll be over here.
Correct.
Just come out and do it."
Like if you need me to work on your sides with you, I will. The thing about it is that prostitutes are terrified when you want them to do anything but sleep with them. So like if I
don't know.
Yeah. No, totally. Right. You heard.
I have an experience with strippers where I've been uncomfortable in strip clubs that people have brought me to, and I've tried to have like regular conversations because I was so.
Right. You're like, when are you going back to veterinary school?
So I'd be like, "Hi, how are you?" And you can tell a stripper is immediately like, "Ugh."
Yeah, no, they don't want
to me like
no,
a
that's what I'm saying.
person.
Like they'll come in and if I want to put my like horrible cashew-sized penis in them, they're like, "That's fine." But if I'm like, make me some pasta. You know what I mean? And like read this Braveheart scene, they're like, "Yo, this dude is gonna kill me. This dude's gonna murder me. He's gonna murder." Like this is like they're like, no. I've had hookers leave. Like I've been like, "Can you chase this butterfly?" I'm saying if I'm like in somewhere with a backyard, I've been like, "Will you chase a butterfly with a net?" And like, "Can you like like sing My Heart Will Go On by Celine Dion?" And they're like, "I'm out." They're like, "You're gonna kill me," and shot me up.
That makes sense. I'd run too.
You would run also.
Yeah. if I showed up somewhere and someone was like, "Can you chase this butterfly for me?" I'd be like, "No."
I mean, I would think if you would get your same rate to not have this Shrek body on top of you, you would happily take that offer, but some of them don't really see it that way. So yeah, I have crazy people coming to my apartment all the time, so you can all just show up. It's totally fine. I will put that out there.
All right. Let's get some questions from these guys.
Of your 10 million followers, who are you most excited following you? And of who else would you like to follow you that doesn't?
I love that question. Let's see. Well, one time I was in the West Village and I was eating like brunch or lunch and someone came up behind me and like put their hands over my eyes, which is pretty wild. And then they were like, "Guess who it is?" And I was like, "I have no idea." And then I turned around and it was Brooke Shields, like the famous actress from the 90s. And I was like, "Oh my God, Brooke Shields." And she was like kind of day drunk. And she was like, "I'm like one of your biggest followers, like I'm one of your biggest fans, I love you." And then I started getting like, the thing is if you start to think about the fact that they're real people, and like who you're then I get nervous about what I'm posting. Like, is it funny enough? Like once I found out she was following and I found out that Stanley Tucci followed me, then now I'm like, when I post something, I'm like, is Stanley Tucci gonna think this is funny? Is he gonna unfollow me? Like, what if Stanley hates this? So like, it's a lot of pressure. Once
Stanley Tucci, like, "Oh, fat Jewish has really lost."
Yeah, exactly right. Even you joke, but
Your biggest fear.
You do a great Tucci, first of all. Second of all,
like, hold on, lower the glasses.
you channeled Tucci. No, thinking about him judging, right? Being like, "Wow, you've really lost a step, the Jew." Like him unfollowing me gives me a lot of anxiety. So I try not to know who's following me because it adds like way too much pressure. Although I did find out also recently that the TSA was following me, which is
They have a baller Instagram account. The TSA.
It's awesome.
It's the best.
So good. You would never believe what people are trying to bring onto airplanes.
I love that that is like my favorite Instagram
Like
account. No offense.
Like, did you think? No, none taken. Theirs is so much better than mine. Did you really think you could bring 200 ninja stars on an airplane? You can't bring a bottle of Poland Spring. You're not bringing 200 ninja stars. What's wrong with you? You can't. Right? You cannot bring up you can't bring a python on the plane. So everything they confiscate, they put up on Instagram. And I found out that they were following me, and that was really an honor. And then who do I wish was following me? I don't really know. Maybe Obama? That would be so tight. Oh, man. Because I chilled with him once, and that guy was...
Did you really?
Yeah.
What was that like?
It was so sick. That dude is awesome.
Where was this?
At the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Yeah, I went to it, and as soon as I met him, he was like, yo, honestly, because I was like, oh, he's going to be chill, like, right? But then he was just, first of all, like, I shook his hand, and then I smelled my hand, and my hand smelled incredible. Like, his hand smelled incredible. Honestly, like, fruit and, like, leather. It's just, like, I don't know what he uses on his hands. And then I came in, he was like, oh, man. He was like, I love this hairdo. He's like, when I get out of office, I'm going to grow this. And I was like, is this really happening? Because what? And then...
God, he's so good.
Then he was like, Michelle, should I grow this? And she was like, I don't really love it. And then Jeff Goldblum was standing there, and he was like, honestly, grow it. And I was like, shut up, Goldblum. And then... so then what happened was that we had this like laugh, and then I said, I call this the hairection. And he was like, I love that. And I was like, what? You are the man. And then we kind of got ushered into like a photo background where you take like an official White House Correspondents' Dinner photo with him. And I figured, I'm probably never going to meet the guy again, and I should really like kind of go for it in this moment. So I leaned over to him and I was like, you know what you should do in this photo? Mr. President, you should grab my hair. Like, grab it, because it'll make the internet, like, melt if I have that photo. And he was on some, absolutely not. Like, he was basically like, listen, you fat peasant, like, we had our laugh, and now, like, no, absolutely, like, you've gone too far. So I was like, okay, but I had to go for it. I had to at least try. So I guess if he was gonna follow me, that would be, like, really sick, and then also maybe, like, I guess Rob Lowe. Yeah, right.
Should we just leave that there and just let everybody imagine why you want Rob Lowe to follow you so bad?
He's just like, the guy's getting younger. He's getting more fuckable. Can I say that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, he's getting more fuckable. He's basically Benjamin Buttoning. Like, he's more fuckable now than he was in 1989. But here's the thing, in 1989, he was max fuckability. So what is he now? He's like broken through the ceiling. Anyway, it's a whole thing. It's like a whole thing with me and Rob Lowe. So that would also be good. Also, maybe my dad.
Never gonna happen, son. Never gonna happen. Dad's not proud. Next question.
He got lost on the way home from the store. He's coming back. He's just lost. He loves me. He's proud of this.
Where's the next question? Oh, right here.
Hi. Could you talk about what you were like in high school and also talk more about your hair?
Yes. In high school, I didn't have any facial hair, so I looked kind of like a fat lesbian cave woman, which was not a good look. And what was weird about in high school? I hung out with just strictly hunks. Like, my whole crew was just like super hunky, and I was like kind of the fat lesbian cave woman.
But the funny one?
Yeah, I was like the funny guy. I hung out with like hot Jewish dudes who were like kind of good at basketball and like wore hemp necklaces, And we're like super, like, we're like getting to third base and stuff. And I guess I was like sort of like, they loved having me around, and I was basically the same way. I had like a giant afro and no facial. I looked like Gilda Radner, basically. It was horrible. But I was honestly, I've always been really this stupid. That's the thing. I think a lot of people say like, I think a lot of people who do social media or do stuff, like, they're really genuinely kind of over the top and kind of caricatures of themselves once the camera's on. But like, I think a lot of people ask me like, at the end of the day, I don't like go home and like unscrew my whatever this is and be like, another day at the office. Like, time to like read a book. You know what I mean? Like, I've always been sort of this doing stupid stuff, like being sort of desperate for people's attention in order to compensate for my small penis. Is that what you're asking? Like, overcompensating. That's what I've been doing. So Instagram was just a bigger platform for me to do it. In terms of my hair, I don't know why. I mean, I'm always on a quest to kind of have the stupidest haircut. So this to me felt like I was kind of trend setting, but now people are copying this. Kelly Osbourne had it, and there was a Tom Brown fashion show where like every model had this. And Vogue like ran an article being like, why do they have this like fat Jew's haircut? Like such a bad call. So I basically now I think I'm gonna need to find the new frontier of stupid haircuts. So if you have a suggestion, I would love to know what it is because I need to have the stupidest.
It's like random hair erections coming out.
Right, multiple, a bouquet.
But like no, not a bouquet because then you're going like Twiggy Ramirez from Marilyn Manson. So you need like 4, but in like odd locations that don't make sense. So if you did 4 of those, like one here, one here, one here, one here, that'd be too obvious. So you do like one.
I like where your head's at. Right. That would be insanely stupid.
So stupid.
I need to be embarrassing my family at all times. So whatever really does
it. You need to get Dad's attention finally.
Well, my parents are doctors, and like this is what happens when your parents are doctors. Yeah, you either become a doctor or you become whatever this is.
The opposite of a doctor.
You become you become a plus size vintner model idiot. Yeah, it goes one of 2 ways.
Next question. Last question. Right here.
Hey.
Go ahead.
Hi.
How's it going?
Ask your question.
You're mad cute.
Thanks.
No, hold on. Damn, yeah, you're mad cute. You're definitely invited upstairs.
Cool.
What do you? Yo, I got a Fire Stick. We could watch It. No, I got all new movies. Hold up. Before the question.
You got the new It?
That's what I'm saying. I got all the new shit.
He's got the new It.
So if you want to watch a movie, no pressure.
I've seen it. It's good.
Oh, you already saw it?
Yeah.
So that's a no?
I'll still come up.
Was that a soft?
That was like a
Was
weird.
that a soft no?
It's like,
No, we can watch something else.
Okay, all right. Okay. Hell yeah. All right. Now, if you want to ask the question.
I know you've done some, like you've been involved in fashion and done some little bit of modeling. Is that something that you're still pursuing or still want to be involved in?
Yeah, actually, I was the first plus-size male model, which, in all seriousness, like, there were a lot of, like, female plus-size models who were doing, like, really awesome stuff and, like, kind of inspiring people to, like, not sort of, a lot of body pause action was going around, and I was like, how come guys aren't involved in this? This is really good. So I got involved with that, and now, yeah, I do a lot of fashion stuff. I actually am doing like really high-end modeling stuff now. They've got me on like shoots with like, I have like a python around my neck and I'm like crawling on the floor and like a German guy is like crawling around taking photos of me. It's like very Zoolander. And it's in like a magazine that only comes out like biannually in Belgium. You know what I mean? Like real glossy high-end stuff. So that stuff is super fun. And then I'm like doing a thing with Tommy Hilfiger and 2 years ago at Fashion Week, I threw a dad fashion show of all dad fashion because dads are just like the most fashionable, like because they don't care. You know what I mean? Like dads will wear anything you give them. At least mine will. Like if I give him something that I don't want anymore, he'll just wear it. He doesn't care. You know what I mean? Like I'll give him like basketball shorts like with hamburgers on them and like like a Chase Bank free, like he'll wear any free t-shirt you give him, he'll wear.
Any fleece.
No, if it's a fleece, he'll wear it. Doesn't matter where it came from.
It'd be like I love Satan on the back. It's like good fleece.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, I don't know, it's a fleece. It's good. So I had all different styles of dads. Real dads came and like walked the runway, which was cool because a lot of these guys had never been to Fashion Week. And Fashion Week in general is like fashion is just really like kind of boring and ridiculous and like I'm trying to figure out sort of how to like spice it up. My show had like nachos and like cool like footlongs like party subs, which was cool because no one at fashion shows eat anything. It's like a thimble of salad, you know what I mean, and like some cocaine. So I'm trying to like kind of mix it up a little bit, get like new people involved, kind of get a breath of fresh air because it's all really not fun. Fashion isn't a lot of fun. Fashion parties are not fun. Like it's a lot of people standing around looking at each other, taking photos of each other. No one's really doing anything ridiculous. So I'm trying to shake it up a little bit and also let you know that it's okay to let yourself go a little bit and have a little bit more of a, sort of kind of dumpy John Lovitz-y style of body. Like that's okay, you know? You look like an otter, like for sure. No, you. What are you looking around? You're looking around? Yeah, your otter look is powerful. You should be a model. I'm going to sign you to a modeling deal.
Oh my God, please sign him, please sign him.
He looks like an otter. It's incredible.
Yeah.
He's beautiful. That's what I'm saying. I'm embracing. So yes, fashion is something I'm definitely like very into. Also, like I'm wearing Crocs with socks. So obviously, I think I know a thing or two about fashion.
He's a mad genius of fashion.
Right, totally. It's
Right.
called fashion. Never
He
heard of
doesn't
it.
care. He's amazing.
That's all right. Exactly. You know that Karl Lagerfeld doesn't believe in colors? I don't know what that means. And he keeps
It means like one time someone asked him something and went, I don't believe in colors. And everyone was like, oh my God, he doesn't believe in
That's
colors.
such a fire thing to say.
It was just like a dick being dismissive.
I don't, actually, I don't believe in colors. Yeah. I love that guy.
A year later, someone's like, you don't believe in colors? And he was like, huh?
Right.
Whatever.
Totally. Yeah, I'm just trying to like, people have come to me and been like, thank you for like letting me know that it's okay to like not. I'm not saying you should get like so tremendously fat that you should like be in a rascal scooter like on an oxygen tank. But I'm saying that it's okay to like not, it's okay to be like, kind of thick. keep it thick.
But those rascal scooters are kind of sick.
Oh, okay, I take it back. I'd love to be fat enough to be in a rascal
Like the
scooter.
oxygen tank? Yeah, don't do that.
That's
But
a
like,
lot, yeah.
But getting a rascal scooter from like the government is pretty dope.
Oh, it's amazing. I would, makes things so, nothing's worse than walking. Or standing, actually. Standing
is
is
true.
Standing is a literal worst. So yeah, I'm gonna get fatter.
So, White Girl Rosé on shelves right now, right? People can get it at liquor stores all over, and Targets, you said.
Targets, you can get it at, it's actually, the cans now are in a lot of sports stadiums.
Oh,
So if
cool.
you're at like a concert,
It's huge.
like if you're at a Lady Gaga concert or you're not seeing U2, because don't ever go see U2 in a concert.
Don't do that. Their time has passed, guys.
Bono's a dick. Yeah.
Have you ever met Bono?
Yeah.
Was he a dick?
Yeah.
How'd it go?
No, he's like a giver, but no. So I said to him, I was like, because I was kind of drunk, and I was like, let me ask a question, hey Bono, because someone introduced me, he was like, this is fat Joe, he's like super funny, and like Bono didn't care, and then I was like, hey, and I was like, yo, when you ever take off your purple sunglasses, when you take them off, are there smaller purple sunglasses underneath? And then when you're in the you keep taking them off until they're just tiny in the shower. And he was like, get away from me, you fat peasant. Yeah. He was literally like, basically had me removed. So like, that's what I'm saying. He doesn't like have a really good sense of humor. So if you're at concerts and stuff like that.
Of course he doesn't. He's the singer of U2, the
Yeah.
most unfunny band in like years.
Of all time. Yeah, anywhere that's like not a guy with a curly mustache trying to sell you like a blueberry IPA or whatever it is you drink. Anywhere he doesn't shop, you can buy this, pretty much. So, and I try to make it inexpensive so you can buy as much of it as possible and just, do questionable stuff.
Guys, give it up for the Fat Jewish. Let's hear it.